one of the reasons that I try to come up with unifying explanations is that, if you look at the number of wildfires in California, let's say, that we've just seen, if you treat them all as spontaneous, uncorrelated instances, it feels like, oh my God, it's just whack-a-mole. Every time I send a fire truck here, there's a fire over there. So you want to come up with something like a central theory, which is, why do I suddenly have a problem when I hadn't had a problem before? So I look for these unifying explanations. And I found one the other day that really speaks to me. People are very frustrated because they've been trained to think about this incorrectly, in my opinion. But here's the graph that you need to look at. On the x-axis is time by year. And on the y-axis is something like average age of a human. Mm-hmm. The title of the graph is Any Desirable Situation Involving Institutions. So that could be CEO. It could be tenured professor. It could be who's getting grants. It could be the age at which people win Nobel Prizes. University presidents, all these things go up. In other words, for a long period of time, the average age of the person in a desirable situation has been increasing something like 9 months for every 12. Those graphs have to go down at some point. The specter of having 5 people all born in the 1940s as the final entrance in the presidential context, that makes no sense. Think about how bizarre a thing that nobody's even really talking about. The last 5 people were all ancient by presidential standards. Not 1, not 2, but 5. We are talking about a contest between somebody who is the oldest of the baby boomers, the very beginning of the baby boom, summer of 46th birthday, fighting somebody who is in the silent generation. The silent generation guy at a town hall in Florida gets this question from a Gen Z guy saying, what's going on with my future? And Joe Biden has the audacity to say, I'm a transitional president. You guys are the highly educated ones. When has any generation in history needed a transitional 78-year-old person to take office? It's bizarre. It's preposterous. That graph is the graph we can't talk about. That graph is the graph of our destruction. Because it has you can make a one-line argument, which sounds like ageism, which isn't a very good argument.
No.
But what it does is it muddles the conversation. And you always have to ask yourself the question, if this conversation becomes muddled, who wins as a result of the muddling?
Well, it's a battle, but let's just win it. Let's win the battle.
Are you running?
For sure, I'll run. I was born in Russia. Can't run. So, but we Russians can hack elections, so we'll figure it out. This is me officially announcing my run for president.
I was born in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yeah.
Lex, what is it that you really want to ask?
I think I want to put some responsibility on the portal. The portal. That the portal gives power to the people in that graph. Like, because you put it quite brilliantly that the people that move the world, their age has been going up. And not move the world, but put in the position where they get the chance to affect the world. These new platforms, I think Twitter falls in them, give power to the younger people. It doesn't have to be about age necessarily, but the younger thinking people. So that's a promising thing. And you are you're like Gandalf. You get to pick your Frodos or whatever. I'm not very good with the analogy, but the whole point is for you as Gandalf.
I don't know that I make that much sense. Gandalf makes sense. I don't know if people know how to fit me into this ecosystem. I think there's something in my presentation that people find very confusing.
No, figure it out. I disagree with you, but you need to look at the mirror and think like, what is it? Is it maybe you need a mustache? I don't know. But there's something about figuring out how to be a charismatic communicator in this, and that's the responsibility. You said like finishing sentences with the LOL is painful for your soul.
Yeah. That's just how somebody lets me know I don't have to take their opinion seriously.
Yeah, it's still the language, the way that people are communicating, and you're swimming that wave. You have a big platform. I have a growing platform. It feels like this is the place to give power.
I agree. But we're going to get swatted down.
I just don't think so.
You're wrong.
Why are you afraid of the big like this?
Because I've studied it. Because I've studied. Let me ask you a question, Lex. I believe that every society is supposed to have a collection of what I call break glass in case of emergency people.
Yeah.
These are people who are universally loved and trusted by your society. For example, David Attenborough, the great British naturalist and presenter, recently came on Instagram. He's worried about the planet. And I said, look, there are very few of these people left. Let's pay attention, find out what he has to say. Maybe he's going to be an ass. Maybe he's going to be an idiot. Maybe he's going to say wrong things. Don't know. Tell me about your top 10 universal American heroes.
This is not a rhetorical question.
No. Give me 5. Everybody looks to that person and says, yep, the best of us.
Not divisive. Well, everybody's an interesting concept. I mean, Elon Musk is very divisive, right? But
I'm talking about overwhelmingly people would follow that person if that person gave a rousing, intelligent speech that said we must act now because we're in dire straits.
I think a lot of people fall in that category. For me, it would be in the tech world, in the engineering world.
No.
Elon
Tell
Musk.
me names.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
The Rock. I'm thinking like, who is the most eloquent actor? So like, you think celebrities? So people with platforms.
I didn't say celebrities. But have to be well known.
I believe like yeah. So this goes to Joe Rogan.
First 2 did not really impress me as being what I said, but okay. Elon several years ago would have.
Can you try to?
Joe Rogan.
Why do they fail? Why is
lots
Elon
of people treat Joe Rogan as if he's some sort of right-wing racist because they've never watched his program. They don't know who his friends are. I don't know.
Oh, but when I thought you said everybody, I thought you meant a large enough people where huge change can happen, not actually literally everybody. Because I mean
people who've pulled off something where everybody's convinced that person just deeply. I mean, I think I've told you the story before, but the one time I've seen the power of a figure like this, I mean, very few times I've been in a large crowd and I've seen people just moved where they would do almost anything good, bad, and different because they were primed. One was a Rolling Stones concert. The other one was Nelson Mandela coming to Boston. And man, you've never seen anything like this. You check out the photos from the banks of the Charles River when Nelson Mandela came. There are people that you need in your dark hours, and we can't agree on who they are. And as soon as they emerge, we tar them with shit. We get out the shit brush.
Yeah, I just disagree with you. So I think
what do we disagree about here?
Okay. I think it doesn't matter who it is. I think really good speeches are needed. And
Great.
I think a lot.
Who's going to give them? I saw Killer Mike try to give a good speech.
Yeah, he did. Wow.
In Atlanta, right?
Yeah, he did.
That was something. Very impressed.
Yeah.
Even Killer Mike immediately gets into this sell out. Or like.
Yeah, but he didn't take up the responsibility, I would say.
He didn't.
Of going bigger. So he was speaking to the community, and
he was doing what he
on this particular moment. He's exceptional at it, and he was speaking to this particular moment. He didn't take it a step farther, which is like giving the same speech but bigger than race, bigger than this particular moment, but more about the American project.
You know the guy who landed the plane in the Hudson?
Yes. Yeah, there you go. That's a good example. Sully.
That guy, until we screw him up, is the kind of thing
Yeah.
that I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, Jocko, maybe. That's another.
Jocko's pretty good. Jocko is pretty good. Can't really tell. Is he a Democrat? Is he a Republican? I don't know. He's an American, that's for damn sure.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of folks.
And then no, I think Jocko, there aren't. That's one of the reasons why Jocko's so
special.
important.
Yeah.